Welcome to this new episode of the Macha Connect show. I told you that this is a show which hosts great men with vast information. We connect you to the world of information. And I'm your host, Joshua. Today is a great day that I'm hosting one of the rarest man to find, but a guy who has influenced my life amazingly because of his doings and the works that he's doing in the ministry of the kingdom of God. Now, today, I'm joined by Reverend Patrick Makewa. Will you introduce yourself?
I am Reverend Patrick Makewa, saved. I love the Lord as my Savior. A pastor, first a pastor of the youth. I pastored as a youth pastor for 10 years. And now I'm pastoring Redeemed Gospel Church, Jetview, as the senior pastor.
We appreciate you very much. Now, the purpose of this show today, we are hosting this man of God because he's launching a new book. This book is aimed for you as a young man or a young believer or whoever needs to read or who has that zeal in reading or understanding, adding some more knowledge to yourself. And that is why we have invited him here so that we can get all that information, what he has included in the book or what he has in mind for us. Because as you know that information is usually shared between people, and that is how people gather information. So Reverend, we want to know first more about you. Can you tell us more about yourself?
Yes. As I've said, I have special interest in youth because the youth are the people who bring change in our society. They don't fear. They try to do things, and the problem is if they are not directed.
Okay.
But if they are directed and given guide, their potential will be realized.
Okay.
So that is why I love them.
Perhaps because you have a very big journey, will you give us a short history of your salvation? Because salvation is usually the basis of everything we are doing here.
Yes. I grew up in a church. When I woke up, I was in a Sunday school. I don't know when I went there. But I was just a Christian who was a nominal Christian. But in 1972, 5th September, I surrendered my life to Jesus Christ. And since then, I have walked with the Lord in downs, the valley, up the hills. I have been a Christian. And later, I started serving as a Sunday school teacher, later as a youth pastor, and now as a pastor of everybody. Yes.
So it means that now, throughout your journey of salvation, there is this age limit that you have written for this book for. So it means you passed through those challenges. That is why you have that capability to write to us.
Not only passed, I passed, and the grace of God was enough to take me through successfully. I'm saying successfully as a young man because especially in this area I've written is a landmine for many youths. But the Lord helped me to go through the landmines without being blown by them. And I have a testimony that a young man can go through successfully.
Yeah, we appreciate that. From my looks, I can see your hedge is still moving. How did you realize this journey of writing? How did you realize it?
When I was in Form 4, I wrote my first article to a certain magazine called Christian Student, and it was published. When I went to college during our graduation year, which was 1979, I also wrote another article in a magazine which was called Ingatonian. I was in Ingatonian University. And it was the best article So that's where my journey now started. I saw I could write. And then later I published my first book, Developing Youth.
Okay.
Then I published my second book, 10 Pillars of Successful Living. And this is the third one.
Okay.
Yes.
So have you been fully engaged in the youth programs throughout?
I have been in youth ministry throughout my life. Even now as a senior pastor, I have youth ministry in the church.
Okay.
So I have been, and I have been active in Kenya Student Christian Fellowship, which usually serves with high school students. Mm-hmm. At one time, I was the General Secretary of Kenya Student Christian Fellowship for 6 years.
That is beautiful. That is amazing. Now, we have realized that in today's world, the youths are faced with so many challenges or pressures from external. When you are realizing these writing skills, did you involve something to do with some external forces which are influencing the youths? Apart from how a Christian youth, he himself or herself can live a godly life.
I have lived in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I've interacted with the youth
at
all levels. I am very social. So I mix with both the Christians and the non-Christians. And I know what affects the non-Christian youth and how, when they receive Jesus Christ, they are transformed to living a new life and different life.
Okay.
Yes.
This is beautiful. Now, Christian youths, we usually expect them to show a different moral characteristics apart from the world. But today, they are lacking a lot of guidance, mostly from the parents or the people who are supposed to mentor them. So in your ministry, have you started a program which can help the youths, a mentorship program which can help the youths?
In the church, we have youth, we have a youth pastor, and we have programs. In fact, we have one very good program we call discipleship program.
Okay.
Which we take the youth, mature people, everybody through that program. And it really helps all the people. The youth are modeled. After they go through that program, you find that their character has been actually transformed.
Okay. I was asking because in those times I was a youth, from the church which I grew, we had programs where we would go for camping, where we'll exchange ideas, where we'll have a mentorship program from somebody who has been invited from somewhere else. They come and talk to us, give us experiences of life. Have you ever tried doing such a kind of a thing?
In our church, we have programs, we have conferences, but we also encourage them to participate in conferences within and without, because it's good to expose them to a wider experiences. Because if they stay inside only, they will think that their programs are the best. But sometimes you let them go out, experience programs. We even in network with the churches around, where they go around. They go to different churches. They have programs as they rotate, and they work together.
That is good. Now, in your book, True Love Waits, these days we are fearing love. What inspired you in this thing to do with love?
What inspired me was when I saw that youth did not understand what love was. And especially, there was a time when in the media, there was so much noise about the preteen pregnancy or teens pregnancy.
Yeah.
And they were showing different counties how the numbers were going up, especially during this COVID time, when the youth left school, when the churches closed, and then the youth were left to experiment. And the media went and told us that the numbers had gone up of the youths who were pregnant. And then I have been in the youth ministry. I was working on something. But that now showed me there was a need for a book like this to address that. Because the pastors were at home, churches had closed, schools had closed. At this time, it was the parents who were with the youths. And they had no message for the youth. So they could not blame the pastor. They could not blame the school. They had themselves to blame because the youth were at home. So I came with a book that could help a parent who wants to use it to help him. Because sometimes even they don't know where to start about sex. I have asked many youths, who talked to you about sex first? It is not the parents. It was somebody else. Or even the nation, or not the parent. But our youth, our children, we have actually talked with them about sex. We have put them together. Seriously opened and candid about sex. Our children.
So there was a study which I was doing recently about most of the youths. Like there was a survey which was conducted by a certain company. I won't mention the company because we are not in marketing area on Canada. They were saying the youths between the age of 18 to the age of 25 are the most who are faced by challenges in today's world, especially when it comes to relationship and decision making before marriage. Now, have you factored out such, or do you have in mind such kind of a thing? Or have you factored something for the youths because of the challenges they are facing in decision making?
This book is mainly addressing teens and the 20s. Teens and the 20s. And it is that group that has challenges because they are strong and the strength goes everywhere. Even sexually, they are strong. And unless you give them some skills and the ways on how to address that, they are bound to yield to those temptations. They are bound to lose control of themselves. So that is the group I'm addressing, teens and the 20s.
I have a tricky question.
Ask that tricky question.
Can a Christian youth in the modern society live a pure life till marriage?
A Christian youth in the modern society can live a pure, sexually pure life. Because youth in the 90s, 80s, and even the 20s is the same biological creature, has not changed. The biological chemistry is the same. So what our youth could do in 1990s, our youth is able, has the ability to do it in 2025. The difference is the one of 1990s was not as exposed as the one of 2025. There was no social media. Today there's a social media, which is a big challenge to the youth. So their challenges are different. And that's why the materials that were written in the 90s is different from the materials that are being written today. Because today we are addressing different challenges.
If I could ask, how do you define true love in your own understanding or according to the book that you have written? Because today what we are referring to as true love is different from your understanding because of your age.
No. True love is true love.
Okay.
Whichever way you look at it, it is a true love. True love is a relationship which is strong between two people or even a group of people. But it is also godly. That true love should follow godly principles, biblical principles. True love should not hurt any of the partners. One of the two partners, or three, it should not hurt, because sometimes what they call true love will hurt. Will make one person to leave school, will make another person to get pregnancy, which is irresponsible. True love is that relationship which is good, strong, but controlled.
Okay.
Godly and biblical.
Okay. Now, in your book, there is an aspect of waiting.
Yeah.
That is where we face all the challenges. Now, how do you address this thing?
I've said this. Love and sex sometimes are confused.
Yeah.
What people call love is sex. What media sometimes calls love is sex. Yeah. You ask people, what were you having? They say they were having love. But what they were doing, it was sex. So first of all, you must know, love has no problem. The problem is what is defined as love and is not love. So sex is a gift from God to married people.
Yeah.
A gift by God to married people. So this waiting, you should wait until you are pronounced a husband and a wife. Now, that waiting needs control, needs discipline. Because I passed around here, I saw Namachoma. That Namachoma, even though I have been attracted to it, I didn't go and pick a piece and start eating, because that is not my meat. I must have a control to see Namachoma and not go and start eating, because it's not mine.
Yeah.
Sex to you is like Namachoma. And it is not at this time when they are supposed to have it. They are supposed to wait until they are married. There is something I call borrowed sex. Borrowed sex.
What is it?
Borrowed sex is a sex that you want to enjoy before you acquire it.
Okay.
It's like a loan. It's a loan. It's a loan to sex. The problem with any loan, you will pay with interest. That is the problem. Any loan that you get, you will pay with interest. So that in borrowed sex, at the end of the day, you pay with interest. And some of the interests are not good. It is very high. It spoils your life completely.
So I have a concern here.
Yes,
and I think I'm asking to my viewer here.
Yes.
Are Christians supposed to date before marriage?
I want to answer that question. What is dating? What is the dictionary definition of dating? Dating, the actual dating is
Actual dating.
Dating is familiarizing yourself and, if possible, have sex. In fact, the ultimate goal of dating ends with the sex. Whether it is Christians or not, they start from far.
Yeah.
But as they move slowly, they will end in sex. And I have talked with the youth who have dated. I've been married for the last 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
We did not date. We did it.
So you just met?
We met. I prayed. I saw this, the girl that the Lord has shown me. I went and told her, this girl, I told her, I am requesting you. I am asking you to be my wife.
Wow.
She asked me, why didn't you ask me whether I have another friend? I said, I didn't want to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it yes or no? And after a few days, she said yes. And that is the letter of marriage.
Wow.
So
That is interesting.
dating actually, it is not really biblical.
Mm-hmm.
If you check, even when Abraham sent Isaac to go and the work,
Mm-hmm.
the man to go and get a wife, there was no dating. Straight, saw the girl, they arranged, and the guy had a wife. So if it is godly, if it is led by God, actually dating adds nothing to the relationship.
That is interesting, because I'm trying to look at this Bible verse here.
It says,
I think it is supposed to the birth of Jesus.
what
No.
did it say? Betrothed.
Exactly.
Betrothed is not dating. It's the people who have agreed we will marry. And then they walk the way of going towards their marriage. And that's why he was told not to leave by the angel, because they had started the journey towards the marriage. And that's what he did. When we agreed, we started the journey towards the marriage. And it took us a year and something, and we got married.
Okay. that one, I don't know how I can explain.
No, yeah.
But that aspect of waiting like for a year,
Yeah. It was not dating.
it's not dating.
It is courtship.
Courtship.
It is not dating.
Now,
We knew we were moving. Dating, you want to know.
okay.
Can we be compatible? Can our chemistry, and usually you go across you are unable to stay within the borders.
Now let's look at the courtship itself.
Yeah.
Now, because you have automatically disqualified
The
dating.
dating, yeah.
Mhm. So courtship is that period when people are in agreement.
You have agreed. And then
To get
there
married.
are processes. You see the parents, you arrange, you agree, you go through counseling.
Yeah.
There is a process in that courtship. You sit, you take tea, you take coffee, you familiarize with yourself. That is not dating.
While keeping distance.
While keeping distance, 1 meter distance.
Yeah.
1 meter distance. And there is no hugging. Hugging today. No, 1 meter distance. But you familiarize yourself. You have sweet nothings to talk, but you don't go across. Yeah.
Then there are a few things which, the modern youths
Yes.
of today are in a different environment than the one you used to.
Of course.
In your case, like for example, there was no abortion in that time.
There was.
But it did not develop up to this. It is not up to this magnitude.
Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Condoms were introduced to us
Mm-hmm.
in a classroom in 1972.
Okay, get my question first.
And then the condoms, they came with abortion.
Okay.
It was a package.
So there is I'm asking on behalf of a certain person. There was somebody who was telling me, how will you know that this girl has had an abortion, or this girl has had this and this, or this girl is lying? I've never heard this thing, but when you get to the real thing, you find mileage is around 100 kilometers. How do you take time to familiarize with this person?
We are working with the youth, and they are even today. We are virgin youths.
Exactly, I know.
Today. What about if you are not virgin? What is the medicine?
Yeah.
There is something else we call secondary virginity. Secondary.
Explain it.
Secondary virginity is you are not virgin, but you decide from now on, up to the time I'll get married, I'll not participate in sex.
Yeah.
That phase again is virginity, but secondary.
Okay.
And when you are married, we will say you are married virgin, but which is virginity? Secondary one. And that's when you are given a chance. You are not condemned to wholesale. You have an opportunity to salvage yourself and to continue. So we say commit yourself and commit yourself to. And we have seen youths who, after messing themselves terribly, we have told them they can restart life. And they have restarted and they continued after marriage when they are pure. Pure how? In the secondary virginity.
Okay. There is this case. Our time was really different from the current situation that we are having now. Is this lady supposed to unveil all those things, or the past, to this brother? Or this brother, is he supposed to unveil that past to this sister? Because from my understanding, your past can come back to you.
Why do you have to reveal? The Bible says, if you are in Christ Jesus, you are a new creation. The old is gone. Behold, the new has come. Why?
Okay.
Why are you removing bones?
We are so curious about the past.
Move from now on, and you are a new creation. This person should know that you are a new creation.
Okay.
Should know the new has come, and the old things are past. And you live.
But our minds are so different. We always want to figure out the past so that now we can figure out the future. How do you address
it? It is difficult to reverse.
Yeah.
Try to reverse and then drive from here to Nairobi, and you know what it.
Yeah.
Mostly we don't move with the reverse gear. We move with the forward gear. So let the youth, if they have left him behind, let them focus, live the life they live now, commit themselves to waiting and they wait until the day when they say, I do.
You have heard it for yourself. If you want anything, or if you have a question, you can leave it. You can leave a comment below this video. Now, let's get to this book now. Pastor, we want to get some highlights of now your book.
This book, the main character is Pendo and Ndipekus.
What is that?
Pendo is a girl, and Ndipekus is a young man.
Okay.
Pendo was trying to find true love, and she befriended Ndipekus.
Okay.
And they dated, and they did everything that young people do in what they call love. And they started that dating when they were in school. That dating interfered even with their studies.
Yeah.
And somewhere on the way, Ndipekus did not have good character. So he left school before completing even high school. But Pendo continued up to her final exam. When she did her final exam with some of her friends, they said they will celebrate with sex that night.
Okay.
They will make sure that they have it for celebration purposes. And the young people do that. And so...
We call them hojas.
Oh, yeah, those, they do that. So when they left the exam and they went looking for partners, two of Pendo's friends got partners, and she didn't get.
Okay.
So she remembered Ndipekusi, who was working in a matatu industry, and she went looking for him. When Ndipekusi saw her, he read love, sex, language in Pendo. And they went somewhere, they hired a place, and they had it. Unfortunately, Pendo got expectant.
Yeah.
From that one encounter. And they continued. She gave birth to a child called Innocent. Now, I don't know how far you want me to go with the whole book.
No, we just want
Now,
small details.
Now, after that, they Pendo could not get a job in Kenya. She went abroad to a land I'm calling land of opportunity.
Yeah.
She went there and she found more love there, more sex there. Abortion was legal in that land of opportunity. And that she could abort. So there she was making love, aborting. But Innocent was growing, finished university, and wanted to come and see his father, who had never been disclosed by Pendo. So he came. To cut a long story short, they were not willing to introduce him to our father, to his father, until the last day when he was going back. They told him he was out of the country and they will come on that day. So when that day came, he said he is not going back unless he sees the daddy. And so after, on the way going to airport, is when they decided to go and take him, to go and see the daddy. They found him, they took him to, he was a manamba. Wao wanapiga gari coffee na wanaambia waingie waine wanabaki. When he was shown the dad, and the dad was told, this is your son. He says, I have no son. This is not my son. Who said? The young man who is innocent collapsed.
Wow. I feel so curious to read this
from
book.
There, I started developing principles.
Okay.
Or those show true love. That will not bring such a situation. And the rest of the book are principles that will help a young person not to go through such time.
That is amazing context. That is so amazing. I feel so eager to read this book. So now, before we end up with this show, Reverend is launching this book tomorrow.
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah. Sunday.
He's launching this book on Sunday. I will give him an opportunity so that he can share with us his information in case you need to get this book, in case you also need motivational talk, or in case you have a group of young minds who need some mentorship of any kind. It will be available at that time for you. So, Reverend, tell us now about the launch of this book.
The launch will be at Momboni High School. There will be a conference of Kenya Student Christian Fellowship. I have served with that ministry for a long time. We will have over 1,000 students in that conference. I will be speaking in that conference. And so I found it is a better place because I'm talking to the people who are concerned. You can get me. I am a pastor at Redeemed Gospel Church, Jetview, which is in Nairobi, Utawala.
Yeah.
My telephone is also in the book, which is 0721 344 202. My email is not difficult. makewa@yahoo.com. It's a symbol. makewa@yahoo.com. So if you wrote there, you also get me. That number is also WhatsApp number. If you WhatsApp me, you get me. So I'm easy to get. You can, anybody, if you get in touch with the Kenya Student Christian Fellowship, you will also get in touch with me. Yes.
We appreciate so much. Reverend Makewa is a youth pastor, and he has found that time to come and share with us on this book that is launching, and that also will be in the market from today. I've bought my copy. Make sure you buy your own copy. Make sure you read this book. Get the interest of reading books. That one will help you. I'll include the numbers of Pastor Makewa, Reverend Makewa, below this video, and also his email, so that in case you need him, you may contact him, or in case you need this book, you may get it. Pastor, we need some conclusions from you before we wrap up this show. What can you tell the youths of today?
I want to tell the youth of today, sex is a gift from God, but not a gift to the youth.
Okay.
A gift to married people. If you keep yourself pure, you will enjoy sex which is pure. And you will not mess up with your life. You will live a life which will honor God and which will not hurt another person. God bless you.
Thank you. We appreciate you for being part of this program. This has been amazing because you have partnered with us in this program. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Till next time, see you. Bye.